Si sus labios se abrieron, fue para decirme, ya no te quiero. Yo sentí que mi vida se perdía en un abismo profundo y negro como mi suerte. Quise hallar el olvido al estilo Jalisco, pero aquellos mariachis y aquel tequila me hicieron llorar.
It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
All right. Damn technical difficulties again, guys. What's up? It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. Joining me as always, and he's not watching the Phillies-Eagle game, taking him away from the Phillies-Eagles for just a little bit, my co-host all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish Drew Evo. Thank you, bro, for coming back for another episode of the Shoe Shine. What's up, Drew?
Did everybody miss me?
I think everybody did miss you. I gotta explain to everybody what's been going on. First off, thank you to everybody for joining us tonight on the Shoe Shine. If you want to let other people know, I'm about to tweet it out that we're live again. It's been 3 weeks, and I do got some explaining to do. How do I do this best? About 3 weeks ago, on a Monday, what's going down, if you guys have been listening to my show for a long time, I've mentioned it before. What's going down is this. My wife and I are selling a home here in San Jose, California. The Monday that we were restarting our renovations to get it ready for sale, my only bathroom in my house went to shits. Literally, the shower behind the wall exploded, all right? While I'm in the middle of renovating the other house. So I had to move into that while that house is being literally renovated from the studs up, all right? And you guys know that the housing market is in complete free fall, so we need to do this as soon as possible. I've had zero time, and that's what's going on with your boy Dave from the 408. But listen, if everything goes right, I'm gonna finally be able to possibly live my dream of moving to Las Vegas. So please wish me well with that endeavor. Did I lose Drew already, or did Drew just mute himself? Drew, you there? All right, guys. I hope I didn't lose him. Because I really can't fill an hour of time by myself. But I can do this for now. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, so we are going to start off the Shoe Shine with a shot of Don Julio for all my people who enjoyed the Mexican Independence Day festivities this week. Drew, are you there? Call the phone line. Do I need to add you again or hop on? I guess on the eCam on my web thing. Hopefully Drew is there. I'm going to have to go solo, like I said. Anyways, guys, I really don't have my show planned out like I wish I did. I'm just kind of winging it tonight. So shout out to everybody. Chicano Prophet, who did a great job I might need a co-host if he doesn't come back. Chicano, if you want to call. Saludos to Nando. Saludos to Annalie. Of course, Bella Blink. Thank you so much. Drew, you there? Oh, there he is. I could hear him coming up the stairs. Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, you had to go do something. All right, I'm going to take this shot. Santiago Media's in the house too. All right, guys. The trilogy is finally over. Canelo Alvarez versus 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin this weekend at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Mexican Independence Day weekend. Drew, by the way, my mom's still in Vegas.
That's cool.
She's been to more Canelo fights than I have this year. I haven't been to any. She went to the Bivol fight, and she was there along with other people that are friends of the show. Like I think Amilcar was there. Shout out to Amilcar. Shout out to Calix Boxing. Shout out to my mom who's still in Las Vegas for the festivities. And it looked like an amazing time, especially on Friday night, Drew. I could feel the electricity watching the weigh-in, feeling all the people there. It's Mexican Independence Day weekend. You know, boxing took a real downturn during the pandemic now, but now that, you know, the borders are open up and people from other countries can come and celebrate, it looked like it was going to be a great turnout. But what actually happened on Saturday night with the main event, Drew? Was it a bore fest? I mean, do they deserve the criticism? Or is it exactly what we should have expected from a 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin? Did anything pan out differently than what we should have expected?
I knew it was going to be like this, man. Like, I tell you the truth, since the second fight, Gennady Golovkin hasn't been the same. Like, if you look at it, he looked horrible against Dovchenko. I thought he lost clearly to Dovchenko. He fought a guy with no power and easily beat him because he had no power. The dude couldn't even fight either. And Murata, if Murata's stamina would have hold off, we probably won't be talking about Triple G Canelo 3. I think Murata would probably beat Triple G. This was the right time for Canelo to fight Triple G. And, like, what else were people going to expect? People say, oh, this is going to be a good fight. No, it's not.
Well, I did see early, you know, people still predicting a knockout of Gennady Golovkin. Yes, because they saw him slow down. But he just came off a fairly solid win in the backyard of Murata, the Japanese, was a gold medalist. And I thought, hey, that's pretty impressive for a guy on the heels of turning 40 years old. That was pretty good. But Drew, you mentioned some really good points all along the way since the second fight with Canelo Alvarez, a fight in which I had Gennady Golovkin starting off so badly in the second fight, a fight I was there for with all my friends. The guy gave away the early 4 rounds and only came alive in the second half. And Drew, it seemed to be that this fight was going to play out the exact same way. But come towards the 8th round, I'm like, shit, what's the point in scoring this fight? This is nearly a perfect shutout for Canelo. And then I started thinking how much money people spend to go on trips to Las Vegas, and they deserve an exciting fight. Gennady Golovkin better do something, because he's starting to make me feel bad for the people who spent the money to go see him fight, thinking that there was potentially going to be a close fight, right?
Like, I'll be honest with you. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Dave. Ever since we've been away, I have not watched much of the YTBC or the YBTC, whatever we call it. I only watched I kept my eye on a couple shows. Mano a Mano, El Chile, shout out Chicano and Nopal, shout out Maestro. Ringside Reporter, shout out Beeb and Eric. And maybe Wing IQ, shout out him. The other guys, the other shows that I used to watch, I don't really watch them that much anymore. I'm sorry, but I think they're boring to me. Like, there's no excitement factor. And I don't mean to be mean. But
Drew,
people got to step their game up, man. This is a slow time. We got to step the game up.
All right, we got to step our game. But meanwhile, the whole time, I can't even get it together to do anything with you. So I want to salute everyone who has been from the YTBC, who's been putting on amazing content, especially Chicano's show, the preview show he did. I think he did such a well-prepared, thorough job. And so shout out to everybody who was on Chicano's show. But you know what? Saludos to everybody from YTBC who's been holding it down. There wasn't a lot of promotion in the U.S., but those people who love the sport of boxing knew that a trilogy is so important. Gennady Golovkin understands the importance of it. Canelo did too. I appreciated the great sportsmanship. Okay, why is there's no controversy in the scoring. This was a solid win for Canelo Alvarez. The only place, and I can point you guys to my Twitter thing, was I responded to Mr. Boxing Guru, and rather than just put up my prediction of who's going to win, anybody could fucking do that. Obviously, Canelo was the heavy favorite. I actually put down my predicted scorecard, and I had it, Drew, a scorecard 8-4, 7-5, and 6-6, which means I was just off by 1 point. Those scorecards I almost was perfect on those scorecards, even though the fight was very wide. I'm going to be straight up with you. I have to be generous. Maybe it was 9 rounds to 3 for Canelo Alvarez. If I'm being generous to Gennady Golovkin, who some people said, oh, Dave's a former, Mexican for Gennady Golovkin for so many years. I'm generous, he won 3. If you're even more generous, he won 4. But he came on late, and the fans needed to see something. They needed to see something out of the guy because he says he ain't retiring.
I'm going to say something. And I put this on Twitter. If you gave Gennady Golovkin more than 3 rounds, you shouldn't be watching boxing. You do not know shit about boxing. And you lose all credibility in my book. I cannot give this dude no more than 3 rounds. I gave him 2 rounds, the 9th and the 10th. But I'd be honest with you, I have not watched any box. I have not watched any YouTube boxing other than Chicano and what I said. I'm hearing people say that somebody gave it a draw. I'm like, what? And I gotta say, if you give this fight a draw, you're a fanboy or you're stupid as fuck, and you really need to stop.
But you could also be a professional judge because, there was a 7-5 scorecard, Drew. There was a couple of 7-5. The judges thought it was close, but the general boxing public and even a casual boxing fan knows it wasn't close. That's like saying the Bivol-Canelo fight was close.
Like, I'm going to say this really. It's not a professional judge. It's a professional dumb fuck.
Jeez.
If you ask me. I'm not being generous because it's people that try to make this fight. And then I understand some people have a hatred for Canelo or a love for Triple G. I don't even like Canelo that much, and I gave him motherfucking 10 rounds. And I scored. I'm not biased. Let's just put that out right there. Because if I was biased, wouldn't I give Triple G at least 5 rounds or 4 rounds to make it feel like he gave it a good fight? Yeah. Let's look at it like this. There was a total dominant fight. That's what it was. He did good. And Triple G was gun shy into the last 3 rounds of the fight, into the last 4 rounds of the fight, and he still only managed to win 2 fucking rounds of that fight.
Well, you made a great point. Gun shy he was, man, because at 40 years old, the Gennady Golovkin of yesterday didn't show up to this fight, man. It was clear he was scared of Canelo's counterattack. Canelo's punches he was putting together were excellent. And he just didn't have the hand speed anymore. The fast twitch muscles are gone for Gennady Golovkin. I'm scratching my head trying to wonder, okay, where does he go here? He says he's not retiring. Yes, he still is a champion at 160. Just the same way that, Canelo lost at 175-pound in the month of May. Then goes back down. He's still the undisputed champ at 168. Gennady Golovkin needs to decide who is he going to defend those belts against, because the 160-pound division, all of us who really follow the sport know that it's a joke right now. You guys got guys like I really like the kid from TJ and Golden Boy. I've been liking him for a while, Jaime Munguia. He's kind of scapegoat fighting the hard challenges, but now I'm thinking, Drew, this is the time for Oscar De La Hoya to bite, because Jaime Munguia was going to have an opportunity to fight him years ago, and he was not sanctioned to fight, and now is the opportunity to peel off the 40-year-old. Just the same way that Miguel Cotto took Sergio Martinez's titles away at middleweight with a busted knee. Now is the time for Jaime Munguia to pounce. Let me know in the chat, guys. Am I tripping? But I don't see Jaime Munguia improving that much more. The time is now. He needs to try to get a fight with Gennady Golovkin. They both fight on the zone. Although I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Is Gennady Golovkin
is a free agent now?
Right.
He's a free agent.
Right. But like the free agency that Canelo had, Canelo still went back to work with Eddie Hearn, and Canelo Alvarez is too. Canelo Alvarez is a free agent as well. So I want to ask everybody from here, where do we go? Where do we go? Do I go for another shot of Don Julio just because it's Monday and I haven't been doing the show in a long time? I think I'm going to do that right now, Drew. I'm just going to. There we go. Just to give myself another shot. Why not, man? Because we haven't been on, and I got to figure out, like, I don't even have show notes. By the way, guys, the phone line is active. Let's try it out. If you guys want to call me, 702-710-3627. Shout out to Jose El Compita. Speaking of KOs, my boy Jose El Compita had a little bit of a KO in Las Vegas recently. If you want to give us a call, if anybody wants to give a call, the phone line is active. All right, Drew, you just mentioned that they're both free agents. So now, you know, people were even accusing Canelo of losing a little bit of steam. I've been hearing on some of that maybe there's a decline. There's a little bit of a decline. We got 2 phone calls right now. Let's take the first one real quick. Is Canelo Alvarez starting to show signs of decline? Obviously, Gennady Golovkin is. Who would you like to see them fight? Let's take 661 first. All right, 661, you were on the Shoe Shine. ¿Qué pasa? Where you from? Tell me who we talking to.
Hey, Shoe Shine. What's up, everybody? This is Jose Compita in the house.
Jose El Compita, what's up, homie? So did you catch the fight in its entirety? I mean, what'd you think of that Canelo Alvarez performance?
First of all, I got to say, man, I was very disappointed in the fight. It was very, very boring. I kind of knew, you know what I mean? My heart was going towards Triple G, but I kind of knew Canelo was going to win. We all knew the age. We saw the decline of Triple G slowly in the other fights. I honestly thought Triple G lost against Derenchenko, and he didn't look too good against Murata. So we kind of knew it. You know, it was that third fight was should have been done sooner, you know. But we all know, you know, I'm Mexican, so I have Mexican pride, you know. But Canelo needs to stop avoiding other Mexican fighters and give everybody a chance. I saw an interview that he did where he says that he don't want to give Benavidez a chance because Benavidez hasn't done nothing. But, you know, Floyd gave Canelo a chance when Canelo wasn't really known that much. So, you know what I mean? But, I mean, I was disappointed. I thought it was going to be at least a war, you know, because both were trading words, especially Canelo saying he was going to stop him. But I was disappointed. It seemed like Canelo doesn't want to push him no more. I don't know if he's kind of maybe not motivated like he used to be, or that loss affected him. But, yeah, I was a little disappointed, man. I had to get a few shots in me.
Well, you bring up an excellent point. Jose El Compita brings up an excellent point that, of course, in the past few weeks, we've heard Canelo say that he doesn't want to fight any Mexican fighters, specifically because he wants this rematch with Bivol. But Bivol is going to get a fight against someone that me and Drew really, really like, and that's Zurdo Ramirez, a humongous lightweight, former super middleweight champion himself. The guy is humongous, and I think, Drew, do we both agree we think Zurdo Ramirez is going to edge this one out against Bivol, which would just kill the rematch that Canelo has in mind?
I think Zurdo might stop Bivol.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible.
I think it could happen. Like, if you see how Zurdo fights and everything, he's not the normal, typical Mexican boxer and everything. This guy does have some slick boxing ability, and I really think he's going to cause Bivol problems and possibly stop him late.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very exciting fight. Now I'm really excited about that one, Jose. It's going to kill the idea of Canelo getting a rematch with Bivol, one that even today he's saying he wants to avenge, and it's very, very important. But he has no interest in fighting a fellow comrade, a fellow compadre from Mexico, and Zurdo Ramirez, who's much, much bigger. I mean, it's like a death wish, right, Drew, to fight him. But let's talk about David Benavidez, Jose, because you brought up the great point. David Benavidez is the former WBC 168-pound champion. He's only half Chicano. The other half is Salvatrucho. So why doesn't Canelo want to fight him? Jose, do you have any idea why he doesn't want to fight him?
The only answer I got, man, and I hate, you know, it hurts my heart saying this, you know what I mean? But you got to be real, man. I think you just avoiding him, man. I think like Drew has brought and you guys brought before in your past shows that, you know, Canelo's career has been guided. A lot of people get fooled. You know, I was fooled in the beginning. The fighters he was fighting, yeah, they had names, but at what point did he fight those fighters? Like kind of like Amir Khan. Yeah, it was a name, but he made Amir Khan fight at, what was it, at 160 almost? I forgot the weight. It was kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? We all knew what was going to happen. So, you know, we saw fights where Canelo doesn't like to get pushed back. Canelo doesn't throw that many punches like he used to. So if you cannot work him like Bivol did, and, you know, I believe Benavidez will be the bigger guy. He's younger. I think he's hungry. I think it'll be a good fight. I see it like a 50-50 fight, depending on how hungry Canelo is. But that's my answer to your question.
Man, I appreciate Jose El Compita, our homie, calling in. By the way, I just want to give you a shout out. If you guys want to see my boy Jose El Compita, make sure you check out our friend Derek Ware's channel, Urban AZ, on YouTube, because, man, they know how to party in Las Vegas. Jose, thank you so much for the call, homie, and I'm going to catch up with you later, bro. Take care, man.
Hey, for sure, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you letting me come in, put my little 2 cents, you know, and Drew, I like you too, man. You keep it real, man. Keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate it, Jose. I'll talk to you later, Jose. All right, that's our boy Jose El Compita. And now go ahead, Drew. We got another call. Go ahead,
I love it when people give me some praise for once.
Yeah, and actually, we might actually have, I just mentioned my boy Derek Ware, who is formerly of the Dallas Cowboys in Phoenix. Not Phoenix, he's from Phoenix, but Arizona Cardinals. Hopefully he'll be calling in the show because I wanted to get his take on what happened to my team, the 49ers, man. Shit. By the way, what's the score of the Eagles right now? What's going on?
Oh, we're about to win 24-7.
All right, good for you.
We got 3 interceptions.
Good for you. But by the way, speech impediment man called me and said you still owe him from that bet about 5 years ago.
Yeah, tell him to get a fucking Cash App or a PayPal. Get with the program. Get the times today. It's not 1985 anymore.
Oh, man. By the way, I'm going to see Speech. 503, you're on the line. I'm going to see Speech in Las Vegas in just a few weeks, man, for this comedy festival. But
tell him to say hi. How about those Vikings?
How about them Vikings? 503, you're on the Shoe Shine.
Dave, Drew, what's happening? It's Chicano Prophet in the house.
Chicano, what is going on,
Another
homie?
guy's going to acknowledge me.
I got to ask you, man. You did a great
I'm
show.
feeling good. You know, it's Canelo victory.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much, man. You know, we had a good time. I saw you in there in the chat, man, and I appreciate you having you there. And we missed your show. We missed the Shoe Shine, you know, so we're glad that you guys are back.
Oh, man, I'm so grateful that I still have people that remember us. But give me your take on this. Give me your final assessment of this trilogy. Finally, it's so important. Every boxer that's a star needs to have a trilogy. You know, they need to have that one guy, the nemesis. You know, all the great Mexican fighters have been involved in trilogies, and some of them have been involved in 4 fights against Manny Pacquiao. So what's your take on it? Would the trilogy live up to its expectation or what?
Exactly. Like, if you have a great rivalry, all the great rivalries have at least 3, if you look at any list, right? And this was a great rivalry. To me, I'm very glad that Canelo and Triple G decided to make their money together. It was a very good fight going in, you know, and I think that people are really disregarding the win on both sides. I think that they're calling Triple G washed up and super old, and he should have got knocked out, or I'm not impressed. First off, nobody knocks out Triple G. I don't think anybody at 160 is going to knock out Triple G. Like, he's had a solid chin. Okay. And on top of that, too, yeah, the third fight, I believe, was a little bit lackluster, but I think it was a completely clear decision for Canelo. I think that you could give Triple G 2 rounds, maybe 3 at the most. You guys know about the scorecard heard around the world. All I got to say is I co-sign everything that Drew said. But going back to this, like, you know, I do think that the fight was lackluster, but it's like I said, in that second fight, if you watch that second fight, there's no time in which Gennady Golovkin can win the inside game or the mid-range game. He always had to back out. He couldn't stand his ground. And for him to win this fight, he's better on the front foot. I knew he wasn't going to be able to pull the trigger. Canelo started lighting him up with right hands early, started marking up his face, and then, like, Triple G just didn't want to crash the pocket because he knew he couldn't afford to win. And so they both coasted, just like a lot of fighters. And I'll tell you what, like, yeah, we can vilify Triple G. I'm hearing this whole thing like, oh, you know, I wish he would have pushed the action a little bit more. It's like, well, you know, I wish Valdez would have pushed the action a little bit more against Shakur. I wish Kambosos would have pushed the action a little bit more against Haney.
But they just couldn't. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Father Time, is the winner here, and you're not going to beat Father Time. Not even Gennady Golovkin at 40 years old is going to beat Father Time and regain that fast twitch muscle that's necessary to punch with Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Canelo's hand speed looked exceptional against Gennady Golovkin. Going forward against the rest of these guys at 168, I'm intrigued. I mean, we already had our boy Jose El Compita say he'd like to see David Benavidez. Chicano, that brings up a great point. Now there's just a handful of guys that look to be on the caliber of making great fights with Canelo coming in 2023 for Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day. Canelo says he favors Bivol in a rematch, but PBC's got some great fighters, and I'm talking about Charlo. Why did I say Charlo like he was Mexican, bro? He's got Charlo and he's got Benavidez over there. And there's even that guy, David, what's the other guy? The Cuban fighter.
Moel?
Yeah, I mean, doesn't have any star power. The star power is with David Benavidez and Charlo, right? Right, Chicano? And who of those two would you prefer to see him fight first?
I think as far as who would give Canelo the most problems, I'd have to say it's David Benavidez. I don't know if I would get so much satisfaction out of that one. I would probably get more satisfaction out of a Charlo win because I feel like the Charlo fans have been calling for that fight for a really long time now. But, I mean, that guy hasn't been active this whole year. It'll probably be like literally 2022. He hasn't been around, right? So it's like I don't really think he's in the running, but I don't necessarily think David Benavidez deserves anything in general. I think Canelo's at a point now where he could do whatever he wants. You know, I know that there's this idea that he's quote unquote avoiding Mexicans, you know, and I know we have a disagreement with that. You know, I personally think that, you know, if Benavidez was the next guy to see, he would be the next guy to see. Canelo's never ducked anybody. He's always fought the best competition. I think that he might logically be one of the next guys to see, but that is guaranteed. Canelo said he's going to take some time off. His hand's jacked up. If he takes off in May, well, then he might only fight in September next year. I think he does need time. And to touch base on what you guys were saying, like, is Canelo on the downslide? I do think he's a little bit on the downside a little bit. I don't think he's able to use that type of like aggression like he used to, unless he really has to. But, you know, like we saw in this third fight, if he doesn't have to, he's not going to push it. Like Paulie Malignaggi said in that Bivol fight, you know, it looked like Canelo just kind of collected his check. He didn't really push the issue when he could have. Right. So what I think moving forward is that Canelo should just make the biggest fights possible, make the biggest money. And if somebody comes to the front and has earned the fight, then they should get it.
I like that. By the way, I got to ask you, because your name it has Chicano in it. Chicano, the Chicano Prophet. Are Chicanos and half Chicanos? Because, again, I just mentioned David Benavidez is half Salvatrucho. I mean, does that count for Mexican? Does that exclude him, according to Canelo's reasoning that he doesn't want to fight a fellow countryman? Are Chicanos like you and me true Mexicanos?
I think that's a great question, you know, and it's funny how this is kind of a sensitive subject depending on like who you grew up with and where you live. Like being from Northern California and just growing up with the, you know, I grew up around an Air Force. Like I didn't really have these identity issues of like how Mexican I was, you know, but I know other people like from Tucson or other people that did kind of grow up with that stigma. As far as what Canelo thinks, you know, I think it's like he said, he represents Mexico. He'd prefer not to, but he'll fight Benavidez if he needs to. He said multiple times, like, yeah, sure, you know, like it's not a big deal if he fights him. I think people are really salivating at that fight because it's exciting, and it would be exciting. That is probably the fight that I do want to see next. But I think this concept of like criticizing Canelo, like we got to realize we're holding him to the completely highest standard. Like Benavidez has a trash resume, and he's getting older. Okay, like I think that, you know, he's hyped up a little bit too much, and that's just my opinion.
All right, that's your opinion, man. This weekend is going to be exciting for Drew and I. Now we had our boy from the San Jose area, man. We had Drew. Help me out. Why am I forgetting our own home?
Andy,
dude, I drink and I forget everything. I got Alzheimer's. Andy El Tiburon Vences is going to be on ESPN, and we're going to see Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Conceição, the Brazilian former gold medalist, bro. That's going to be a great fight, actually, on a Friday night. Do you have a pick for Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Conceição?
Yeah, I do have a pick. You know, I think it's a good fight, but I think it's going to look like a lot of other Shakur fights. Drew's probably going to need his pillow. I don't think we're going to see any surprises here. I have Shakur Stevenson winning. Thank you guys so much for taking my call. I'm going to listen the rest of the way.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Chicano. Take care, bro. See what happens when I drink. Andy El Tiburon Vences is fighting on that undercard. He's got a second opportunity here. It's going to be fantastic. He's been training in Las Vegas. He's on the undercard on that on Friday, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Andre Rodriguez says, you drink to forget, and then you forget why you drink. Exactly.
I'll be honest with you, man.
Yeah.
Like, from, I had conversations with, like, my people and everything, man. Where, like, because this is what I heard about the card, the infamous 6-6 card on the Triple G Canelo fight, man. I didn't ask who it was. Don't give a fuck, because either way, it's probably gonna make me call him a fucking idiot on live more. But at the end of the fucking day, that motherfucker probably drunk his ass off when he watched that fight, and he probably drank so much he gave it a 6-6. But he was thinking about Maker's Mark 46.
Maker's Mark. That's
Right,
good stuff. Listen, Drew. I think we're talking about forgetting shit. All right. Let's talk about the co-main event, because Bam Rodriguez was looking so good this year, beating 2 former world champions, that people started saying right away that he's going to be fighter of the year. And here comes Israel. Is his name Israel or Ismael? The fighter. Israel from Baja California comes. He's only 25 years old, and he gave Bam Rodriguez a hell of a fight. This was supposed to be a showcase fight for Bam Rodriguez, to put him in the mix so everybody who's a casual fan, who's a fan of Canelo Alvarez, was going to see how fantastic he was. But he had a very, very bad start. Not the guy we saw just totally demolish these former 2 world champions. Not the guy that looks like a miniature Mexican-American version of Lomachenko. He did take control in the later rounds, Drew, but even everyone around me said, man, that kid looked dirty on Saturday night. In terms of the low blows, he could have easily had 2 points taken away. Then they had a vicious headbutt. Drew, was it just an off night? Is he overtraining? I wish Santiago Media would give us a call, because this did not look like the Bam Rodriguez. Still, a win is a win. He's going to fight again in December, but what would you like to see from Bam Rodriguez going forward? The champion at 115. He says he was going to go down to 112. What do you want to see from him going forward? It was kind of a rough night for the guy.
First of all, Bam Rodriguez looked like shit. And that's the easiest thing you say. He looked like shit.
Did he make the adjustments? I mean, you had a pretty close.
I had 114, 113 for Bam, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the referee did not call that a low blow. If it's not a low blow, why wasn't it a call a knockdown? I don't understand that. And this was like Kenny Bayless is one of the best referees out there.
Oh, yeah, he played like he didn't see it.
I'm shaking my fucking head and everything. I'm like, yo, it's a low blow. And if he would have got a point taken off from Bam, it was a draw.
Yeah, it could have been. Could have gone really bad for him. Thankfully, at worst, like you said, a draw. But, kudos to the guy from Baja California. There's been a lot of spoilers. A lot of guys come from the region, Baja California, from TJ all the way down in Ensenada, and they come to fight. They don't come to fold over. They don't come to be easy work. So congratulations to him. This is a guy who I am curious in seeing how he plays again, and maybe even someday in a rematch against Jesse Bam Rodriguez. No, he didn't look good, but he's got the potential this December to put away a very good win and still possibly be fighter of the year. Speaking of fighter of the year, Drew, if Gennady Golovkin had done the unthinkable and beat Canelo Alvarez, would you have given him fighter of the year after coming back at 39-40 and getting another another belt at middleweight? Would you give him Gennady Golovkin fighter of the year for upsetting Canelo Alvarez?
No, I would still get Bevo. I'm giving Bevo fight.
Bevo?
Yes, I'm giving Bevo fight of the year.
Bevo's got to beat Zurdo in November.
Yo, we're going to call it like this right now. Bevo got fight of the year.
Fight of the year or fighter of the year? I said fighter of the year.
Fighter of the year so far is Bevo because he gave Canelo a boxing lesson.
Sheesh. Wouldn't go that far. Not that it was a fluke, but all right. Anyways, Jesse Bam Rodriguez did not do as well as expected, and I hope to see something impressive from him in December because I know he's got tremendous potential. He's young. Maybe we expected too much of him from those 2 performances, but those guys were champions, but they were also at the older range and had been in a lot of wars. We got another call. Let's take the call from the 5 and Dime. I think I got a feeling I know who this is.
Nando.
The 5 and Dime, you are on the Shoe Shine.
Hey, what's up, Drew?
What's up,
Hey,
Hey,
Nando?
what's up, Drew? What's up, Dave? How you guys doing?
Good, homie.
100%, homie. No, dude, hey, I don't want to hear Drew ever say again he's not a fanboy, dude. Bivol, fighter of the year. Come on, dog. Come on.
I know.
come on, he easily beat Canelo, bro. He easily beat Canelo.
Oh, the fighter of the year, Drew?
But he
You
did. He
straight
did just
tripping,
say.
homie.
He
God
did say
damn.
that Zurdo's gonna beat him. So
And I did say Canelo was
Oh,
supposed
so he's
to
gonna-
stop him. So what the fuck's your point?
That's all right. Hey, dude, it's okay. It's good to be a little
I
bit of
got
a
that- I
fanboy,
got
man.
that
Don't be
prediction
ashamed of it.
I got
Just
that
don't deny it,
prediction
homie. Just don't deny it.
things are gonna go.
Hey.
You can't call Drew a fanboy, Hilke. No, you know what'll happen.
Let that
Nah,
freak
anyways.
flag fly, Drew. Let the freak flag fly, Drew. It's okay. You can be a fanboy, homie. It's all right. It's all right. I ain't mad at
Hey,
you.
don't put me in the same category.
Don't
as
deny
some
it.
People.
All right,
Don't put me in
but
the same
all
category
right,
as some
Nando.
people, buddy.
I gotta know, man. Did you enjoy this fight Saturday night with the family? Did you get drunk, or were you like, shit? Did you pay for it? I mean, did you have to pay for it?
Well,
Because I would have been
I
mad.
was gonna go to the movie theater. I was gonna go to the movie theater to watch it there because it's kind of fun watching
It is.
watching the fights at the movie theater. I watched Triple G.
It is. I have to agree with you. I actually saw
Go ahead.
Canelo versus Lara at a movie theater in San Jose, and it was different. And I had a blast because at that movie theater at Santana Row, if you know where that is in San Jose, they serve alcohol. So it was like, hey, you can't get a bigger screen than a movie theater. So it was nice that they offered Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G at a movie theater. But you ended up seeing it at home?
Hey, dude, I worked at Santana Row. I worked construction. I did the two buildings next to the movie theater. I worked on both those buildings.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Splunk and the other one, right? Yeah. I worked on both of those for like 6 years or something like that. But not at the same time. But yeah, dude, watching at the movie theater was pretty cool. Like I watched Triple G and Canelo #2 at the IMAX in Emeryville.
Right?
And that was cool, man, because it was like it's kind of like going to the fight. It's kind of like going to the fight because you got like some Triple G fans there, right? And you got the Canelo fans, and there's a little bit of back and forth, and people are drinking. It's pretty fun, man. People check it out. These are like $20 to get in, man. So I recommend it. Try at least once.
I do.
I have a question for both of you guys. Do you guys think Bam maybe needs to take a break like Canelo's doing? Because it seemed like he wasn't very interested in the fight to start with. He seemed a little bit, maybe not physically worn down, but maybe mentally worn down. What do you guys think?
Like, he's fighting a lot of fights, but the thing about it is, they're not like far apart. You know how layoffs and everything.
No.
I think that's gonna affect him later on in his career and everything, especially if he's going through wars and everything. Like Saturday night, if he goes for fights like that, like he did Saturday night, and he's only taking maybe like a 2-month layoff or something. That's gonna really affect him later on down the line in his career, and his career might end prematurely. That when it's supposed to end, he might be done by the time he's 30 if he keeps up at this pace.
I think it's a
I
great
mean, they're
point.
talking about bringing him back.
I wanted to
I
say,
think they're
Nando.
talking about bringing him back in December right away. Too.
Yeah, they are saying
Right.
that. I think
Right,
you bring
yeah.
up a great
Right,
point. No worries, Nando. I wanted to answer your question because it's a great question. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen what he looks like in between fights, and he seems to balloon up in weight a significant amount of weight. And I think they were being overzealous and overworking this young champion. He had 2 fantastic wins this year, putting him in the boxing spotlight. And it's a tremendous amount of pressure to come back so quickly. Usually you ask a prospect like a Xander Zayas to fight 4 or 5 times a year. They're fighting 6-round fights. And here they are making him defend his titles and now wanting him to fight 4 years. It could very well be a point, like you said, that they're overworking the kid. They're overtraining him, and his body needs time to even heal in between these training camps. I would really appreciate if Santel Media was still here or will give us some feedback next week on that, because I think that's what I saw, man. I think he's overworked, overstressed, and to bring him back in December, I almost feel like it's going to have to be an easy fight again because it's so soon. What do you think?
I saw him take just feeling like different because he was really sloppy, man, with the low blows and stuff. He's not really that type of fighter to do that kind of stuff. And it was repeated low blows, like Drew was saying. He's like Kenny Bellis going to take that second point away from him, which he should have, because I don't know what the hell Kenny Bellis was thinking. And I just think it's all coming down to him being tired, mentally tired, because They're already talking about bringing him back in December on the undercard of Chocolatito versus Estrada, right? And that's
Right.
just going to lead right into the winner, him fighting the winner. That's crazy.
Right, exactly. If which would have him facing the winner in 2023. It's a tremendous amount of pressure on the young guy. Pressure that even his brother Joshua Franco's not been facing. So maybe he does need a longer layoff. Maybe they could extend that. But like you said, they want to put him underneath that undercard. I hope he gets a soft touch. He almost deserves it. He did have 2 incredible wins early on. But while you're here, Nando, let us know your thoughts, man. Who would you like to see Gennady Golovkin retire against in his final fight, if he's going to squeeze one more out? And who would you like to see Canelo face next?
Well, like with Triple G, man, I respect Triple G. I don't want to talk bad about him or anything like that, dude. But I have to wonder, where does he go from here, right? Because anywhere he goes, it's going to have to be on pay-per-view, and he's going to have to carry that pay-per-view to make the kind of money he's used to, right? Where would he make anywhere near that kind of money? He's never carried a pay-per-view as the A-side. The 2 he did, they both bombed. Neither one got to 100,000 pay-per-view buys versus Lemieux and versus Dane Jacobs. Neither one broke 100,000 pay-per-view buys. That was a long time ago. So I think if he really wants to continue, I know he hates fucking Oscar De La Hoya. I think it's in his best interest to stay with his own and try to make that Jaime Munguia fight. Munguia brings a name, brings a crowd brings his own crowd to the fight, and it's a winnable fight for Triple G because Munguia still hasn't proven anything, And there's even a little story behind it, right? Where he got turned down like 4 or 5 years ago for a fight, with Triple G by the Nevada Athletic Commission, So I think that's the most interesting fight, the most makeable fight. Financially and just all the way around. I think that's in Triple G's best interest would be that Munguia fight.
I'm
what do you guys think?
100% with you, man. That's the fight I want to see. I know years back he had that opportunity and the state athletic commission said no dice. The kid is a 154-pound fighter. He's not seasoned enough. He's not qualified to fight the champion. But things are all changed now. And you know what? I think it's a 50-50 fight still at this point because Jaime Munguia, he can throw a lot of punches, Drew, but he gets hit a lot. There's going to be ample opportunity for him to get punched.
Here's the thing. Nando, what was your scorecard for Saturday night?
Drew with the scorecard.
How much did it cost me to fight?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
What was that scorecard? Hey, Drew, I was like halfway down a bottle of vodka, homie. I was like seeing sideways, dog. I couldn't even count the 10, dude. Forget it. Nah, man. I just know Canelo won clearly, but I don't know, dude. I was seeing double, homie.
I think I'm going to see double if I have another shot. Hey, Nando, I appreciate you calling, man, and great suggestion on the Jaime Munguia fight. You got someone else here who's second that emotion behind the ropes. Shout out to the homie.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Nando. Man, it's been a great show so far, Drew.
Bye.
Thanks, man. A lot of people calling. I appreciate that. Shout out to Behind the Ropes. What's up, homie? Drew, one vote for Munguia, 2 votes for Munguia, 3 with me. Who would you like to see Gennady Golovkin fight at 160? Because he ain't going to fight Bubu Andrade. I know you've been wanting to see that. It ain't going to happen.
It ain't happening. I don't even. Here's the thing. People are going to say that Al can throw money at Triple G and come on the PBC and fight Charlo. Unification belt. Probably would be a good participating fight. Finally, but I would still look at it like this. They're putting Charlo against old aging Triple G. So what's the point? If I want to see a fight, I'm probably want to see him fight Jaime Mejia. Because I tell you this right now, he beats Jaime. This 40-year-old beats Jaime Mejia. Jaime Mejia ain't gonna have really a career.
Jaime Mejia is an exciting pressure fighter. Gennady Golovkin rode part of his success with Abel Sanchez saying he was Mexican style, and now he's got an opportunity to fight again. Once again, another potential Mexican superstar in Jaime Munguia, someone Oscar De La Hoya thinks is destined to be one of his next superstars after losing Canelo Alvarez. I think it's a great fight. Bringing up Bubu Andrade, bringing up for Canelo Alvarez. Will Bubu Andrade ever get that fight with Canelo Alvarez? He's chased him down in press conferences, gone into the back of the post press conferences and literally shouted at Canelo, please, begging, give me this fight. I don't know what's up next for him, but if he moves up to 168, I think Boo Boo Andrade, if he can get some good fights or sign with a different promotion outfit, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. The tricky guy, he still is.
If he gets that WBO interim title and everything, he is trying to revisit the Zach Parker fight. Zach Parker's not no slouch either.
Right.
And everything. Like, if he does get past Zach Parker, if that fight happens, it's a good win for him. I really think that if him or Benavidez really want this fight, Andre should just explore the fact, hey, I need to go fight David Benavidez and everything. And it's not going to be Benavidez people pricing themselves out again. They need not to price themselves out again for Andre. Because if you're going to price yourself out, then what's the point of you trying to fight Canelo? Because tell you the truth, if you want his attention, beat somebody that's trying to fight him too, or beat somebody that fought him already and beat him worse than Canelo did.
Man, speaking of
That's
pricing
the
yourself
only
out,
way.
Drew, speaking of pricing yourself out, I just have to compliment, hey, listen, how do you at 48 years old turn down a payday like that? Gennady Golovkin earned over $20 million. And Canelo Alvarez, who once left the zone, remember he left the zone because they couldn't pay him $35 million. He managed to squeeze out $40 million on Saturday night in Las Vegas out of the zone. And no slouch, Gennady Golovkin made over $20 million, $60 million purse. Incredible. So, of course, you're going to have everyone still chasing Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing. And that's the way it goes, guys. This has been a great show so far. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm just like 3 subscribers away from 400. I would love to be at 500 in October when I go to Vegas. Drew, you ready for this? I'm going to see our boy speech impediment man who says you still owe him. I'm going to this $50, by the way, Phillies versus Viking games. He said, tell that guy, Drew, he owes me $50. All right. I'm going in October. I'm going in October to Vegas for Skank Fest, which is this incredible comedy festival. I'm going to this thing called the Granny Fest for people that like old ladies. No, I'm just kidding. Granny Fest is not a thing for old ladies. It's a YouTuber event. All right. And I need to at least be at 500. So make sure you subscribe to me because I want to be at 500. I want to say I'm halfway to 1,000, which is like, somewhat. I mean, 1,000 is the benchmark for a channel. We want to be there. So help us out. Hit the subscribe. Follow the channel because I will be vlogging that. All right. Now, this Saturday and Friday night, there is some boxing that's going to get us into the month of October. There's still some great boxing ahead of us. We had our boy Andy El Tiburon Vences, who all but thought after being released officially by Top Rank that his career was over. And no, he says, I still got it in me. He's been training his ass off. He gets a new manager. He was on our show, our last show that did incredibly well. I think we got over 1,000 views on that. He will be fighting Friday. He's going to get a second chance. Oh, shit, look at that. My damn camera just went out. All right, as I'm saying, I'm going to plug this in real quick. Guys, hold up with me. All right, let's see if
guys can see my beautiful face, by the way.
All right, let's see if I come back. I'm back. All right, Andy El Tiburon Vences will be on the fight on Friday night on ESPN representing San Jose Redemption. He believes in himself. He says he's still got it in him to be a professional fighter, and he's going to have a tough, undefeated prospect. Make sure you watch him on ESPN. Also, Keyshawn Davis, the silver Olympic medalist, Drew. Keyshawn Davis, we were on a show with him on Twitch Sports. Drew and I almost got a job on Twitch Sports. We just lost.
He rigged it.
But they rigged it, according to Drew. And we were on there with Keyshawn Davis.
Fucking rigged it.
He's making his co-main. Of course, he's from the
Texas.
East Coast. And the main event, Shakur Stevenson fighting the former gold medalist from Brazil, Robson Conceição, who some people think he beat. He beat, the Mexican guy. Help me out here, Drew. Valdez. Some people think he beat Valdez. All right. Anyways, look, if he couldn't beat Valdez legitimately on the scorecard, and Valdez got his ass kind of smoked, I was at that fight with Shakur Stevenson. Is it any different? I mean, Chicano said, be prepared to fall asleep on Saturday night. Are we going to go back to the Shakur Stevenson that's unexciting and just going to beat Robson Conceição on points this Saturday night?
You know what? I think I might have to find a date for Saturday night. Just go out somewhere.
All right, guys. I'm just going to say it. Shakur Stevenson is the future of boxing at 130 pounds, 135 pounds. He's a star, and this Saturday night, he's going to show that he's still levels above even a gold medalist. So he's going to come out with the win. I'm praying for our boy Andy Vences to come up with a win so he can revive his career. Shout out to San Jose and the 408. He will be on that show Friday night. Moving on to Saturday night, DAZN, ESPN. There's a really good heavyweight fight, Drew. Everyone loves the heavyweights. I know we're almost about to wrap up the show, but listen, man, Joseph Parker and Joe Joyce from the UK are going to be fighting, I think, during the day, all the way from the UK or wherever they're fighting, man. This is a great heavyweight midday fight on ESPN. Joe Joyce, the thudding puncher with the incredible slow pounding jab. Does he beat the former world champion in Joseph Parker? You got to give it a thought.
You know what? I think Joseph Parker is going to win a decision against Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce
I'm picking
undefeated.
Joseph Parker.
All right. That sounds good to me. We're going to follow up on that Monday. This is a great heavyweight action fight on Saturday. I am a big fan of Joe Joyce because it looks like he's slow as molasses, but he reminds me of a prime George Foreman. And Drew, I think that he is going to nail that dude with his slow, thunderous power shots, and he will come out victorious on Saturday. Joe Joyce, someone to be reckoned with, someone who could potentially be an opponent to Tyson Fury and even Anthony Joshua. By the way, I don't know if you read this in the news, but potentially Anthony Joshua is talking to fight Tyson Fury. Am I reading wrong?
It gets contract got set by Joshua.
Shit.
And I'll tell you this right now. Joseph Parker beats the Juggernaut.
Joseph Parker beats the Juggernaut. I'm rooting for the Juggernaut and Joe Joyce this Saturday. Also on DAZN, there is Kid Galahad, because I don't know, you remember this Bronco Lara? And he was going to fight a rematch with the featherweight champion. There's been an injury there, so Kid Galahad gets moved up on DAZN, so you can watch boxing this Saturday on the DAZN app if you got it. I know it's expensive, and on ESPN. And Friday night, more boxing on ESPN. That's going to wrap it up for the Shoe Shine. Man, it was good to come back, guys. I appreciate everybody who's turned in. Andre Rodriguez likes to remind us, Ismael Salas, one of the best Cuban coaches out of Las Vegas, is in Joe Joyce's corner this Saturday. And I definitely appreciate what Ismael Salas does with all his fighters. Always see great defensive work from those guys. So that's interesting that a Cuban is training Joe Joyce, Drew. I don't know if that's going to sway you to change your mind. Yolanda, thank you so much. Shout out to Mom, Food Plant and Things, Chicano Prophet, Bella Bling, Nando for the great call, and everyone who participated. Jose El Compita, great call today. I'm going to try to come back Monday night, guys. Like I said, guys, I'm in the middle of remodeling this home. If everything goes well, we're going to sell this house and move forward with our lives here. Whether that means moving out of California and moving to Las Vegas, we'll see what the future holds from your boy Dave for the 408. Drew, any final words? What's the score on the Philly Eagles?
We won 24-7.
Hey, that's good, man. That's better than the Raiders. What happened to the Raiders?
We're 2-0, baby.
Yeah, I didn't get a call from our boy Derek Ware, but shout out to him. Hopefully he'll call in next week and we could do a little football talk next week. Behind the ropes, shout out to you, Dan619, Andre Rodriguez. Gracias. We will see you guys next week, Monday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern Time. Thank you very much. The Shoe Shine is out. See you next week. Peace.